Good morning, good morning. I am feeling great. It's beautiful outside. You can hear the birds. If you know anything about the February 14th severe weather outbreak we had going on across the Gulf Coast, it got a little teeny weeny bit spicy. I was having a conversation with my mom, and she is saying, I didn't know we were supposed to be expecting bad weather today. I didn't know about the storms. I'm like, yeah, we've got storms. And I just so happened to look at that moment down at my weather app, switched over to Velocity, and zoomed into my little town because I saw the storm moving toward my town and saw a small little pocket of rotation. And I was like, there's no way. I went and looked out my back window, and yes way, there was actual rotation in those clouds. And at that moment, I revisited being 5 and 6 years old. You get scared, you want to run to mommy's bed, and I had to remember at that point in time, I am a grown man, an adult male. You handle these situations. And at that point, my old lady gives me a call, rings my line because she was out with my son at a grocery store, and she's like, "It's right over our house. It's over our house." She's friggin', and there goes my boy, right on cue. What's up, young man?
Just doing my annual checkup on my dad.
Your annual checkup on your dad. I'm over here working on a video.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
You can't see the camera anyway. Anyways, so they come running inside. I go look out the front door, and sure enough, the rotation's still there. I tell everybody, get in the innermost room of the house, which they do, just in case. I didn't suspect it would turn into anything, but you never know what can happen. And got them in the innermost room. A few minutes later, maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, you hear the rain start falling, which if you know, that's a good thing in certain parts of the country. Look back out front, and sure enough, the clouds flattened back out. There was no more rotation. It was pushing and moved on and did what it was supposed to do. But what is the point of this video, right? Learning how to really come back and worry about ourselves. This is not going to be a trucking video per se. I am starting a orientation coming up here soon, so you're going to start to see the video from that. So make sure you do like, share, subscribe to the channel so you can see me back on the road doing my thing.
I came out of smoke with a flame in my chest. Southwest sun sitting heavy on my neck. Every mile I rode carved the line in the map. Now the whole damn state know the legend is back.
Alright, a few years ago, like 90% of the country, I lost trust within the mainstream media. And like 90% of the country, I decided I needed to find alternate ways of bringing in information that I considered may be needful. And then I started to realize one day that it didn't matter whether it was mainstream media or alternate source of media and news. If it's a talking head, it's just that, a talking head. And a lot of these people, it doesn't matter. And I give it about 98 to 99% of them. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, it doesn't matter if you're an independent or somebody who leans libertarian or green or whatever you are. These talking heads are all pretty stupid. All right, comment down below if you realize the same exact thing. The difference between an influencer and a content creator. An influencer is building a personal brand so that they can sell you something. They can sell you an ideology. They could sell you something physical and tangible that you could touch. They're there to influence you, and their influence may not be in your best interest, right? They learn, like my son was learning in school the other day, the ethos, pathos, and like how to draw on your emotions, how to draw on your logic. And if you get too invested in these, it could be negative for you. So it is time as a society that we get back to minding our business. Who cares about what is going on with, for example, like Erica Kirk, right? She lost a husband. Very sorry to hear that. Very sad situation. But to sit there and degrade constantly and make that like your main source of business and news and clicks, horrible. All right, P. Diddy. P. Diddy's already in prison. We know what's going on. We got the documentary. We got the information from the documentary. Now you can either choose to use that source and hold on to it and develop an opinion about it, or move on. Weeks later, you still have people arguing about it. Just like, all right, we get it. It's carrying the clicks for you. But at some point, I was watching a guy the other day, or a few weeks ago when we had that freeze over, and what he was documenting was him being worried about his neighbors during the freeze over. He said, I have this amount of deer meat. I don't remember his channel even right now, but he said, we have this amount of deer meat, and I made sure this neighbor had something and that neighbor had something, and neighbors were bringing him stuff because he was limited in mobility at that point in time. So they were making sure he was taken care of as well. A majority of us don't even know our neighbors' names anymore, right? And what I'm saying is it's time to get back to learning about our families, getting out there on bikes, getting hobbies going, taking walks in parks, learning how to fish and whatever, going to the gym, and not being so caught up in the world of being influenced, right? Because it's not going good anymore. Like, at all. To the point where what's on the internet seems a lot bigger and a lot heavier than what it truly is. I was a psych major when I was in college, and one of the things that I studied was, we as humans, for whatever reason, we are heavily addicted to negative headlines. We are heavily addicted to negative imagery. We could see positive headlines, right? For example, I'll give you an example. 12-year-old discovers possible cure for cancer. Dude from San Antonio, Texas wins $12 million on lottery. And then you'll have 17 people died in an avalanche in the Himalayas somewhere. We are more apt to click on the 17 people died in the avalanche in the Himalayas than to even see about the kid that may have discovered a cure to cancer. Why? That's just, we have like this addiction to anxiety, this addiction to drama in the human species, the great apes that we are. And it's something we have to make a mental note of, and like really start to push away, right? And start looking for the more positive aspects. And I promise you, that'll probably fix maybe 15% of the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis. And we start to become more positive. I think I got most of that rant out the way I wanted it to get out. That was pretty much it. I do have a orientation coming up for a new company. So you guys are going to see me back on the road here soon. I'm going to get some, or as much as I can, footage from that orientation. And then the second I'm back on the road, we're gonna hit it. We're gonna be trucking once more. Right now, the point of my channel is not to influence, right? The point of my channel is not to necessarily be this almighty content creator. Yes, eventually, I would like to grow it to being monetized. And the reason why is not necessarily for myself. It is for my communities that I belong to. You know, the blue collar workers. Helping to grow and further push people forward is what I'm looking into. I'm not looking at being this, you know, oh, look at me, look at who I am. Like, I'm so educated, I can come up with these, you know, philosophies that I need to sell you on, and you just follow every word that I'm talking about here. I'm the new Aristotle of society. Like, dude, chill the hell out. That was cute. That was cute for the moment. All right, stop it. Really. But yes, right. That's the point. Eventually, yes, get monetized and become almost like the Mr. Beast-esque, you know, I Show Speed-esque kind of thing for, you know, like I said, my communities that I belong to, that I really care about and look out for. So if you know, you know. Truckers, let's go. Electricians, come on, baby. I got y'all's back. And, you know, things like that. If you know, you know. You know how it gets down. But you'll see a lot more content coming from all of it here in the future. If you're interested, stick around. Subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Outside of that, you've ridden with Steelhorse. Stay blessed.
Oh, Lord, oh, Lord.